Hey everybody, welcome back to RevTalks. It's Patrick. Today we're joined with Robert, the founder over here at Multivision Digital. How are you doing today, Robert?
I'm good. Good morning, everybody.
So Leo, I appreciate you taking some time to be here. Can you give us a little background about Multivision Digital and what you guys are building in the marketing space?
Yeah, we're all about video, 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 and video. We're all about video.
Super cool. Do you help specific businesses out when it comes down to their kind of like go-to-market production with video? Or you guys do a lot of more kind of consulting and design, or what are kind of some of the services you guys actually provide?
Video is just content. So if you think about any type of go-to-market sales effort, they're going to create content for a product launch, for subject matter expertise, for email marketing, for brochures, PDFs, for case studies, for recruiting people as your business grows, right? You're going to create a page, PDF materials, etc. They're going to create content, and then sales teams and marketing teams are going to use that content to achieve different objectives. Video is just content. So when I say video, 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 and video, I mean we're looking at a different business objective or a business objective like product launch and creating video content that aligns to that specific objective. Okay, done. You've got the video, you're launching that. And then what is your another business objective that you're going to create content for? Create another video project that aligns content to that specific business objective. Wash and repeat. So if you think about now going forward and the reasons why you should be thinking about video, we live in a B2B world where as much digital presence is out there, we're still humans buying from humans. And there's no better way to showcase the people, the skill sets of your team and communicate the value of your organization than in a video, which is exactly what you do face-to-face via Zoom calls anyway. So video that mimics that process, that provides that information and value to the buyer, just builds that credibility, builds that relationship, builds that trust and information earlier in the sales process.
Absolutely. And just kind of a little off-topic question as well. What is your kind of like go-to for actual really good high quality cameras for content? What would you recommend?
Wow. I would say that's irrelevant. That's an irrelevant question because I'm on an iPhone right now shooting this, and I bet you this is pretty good quality. Now, does that mean I'm going to use this same phone when I go out on location somewhere? No, it's not. But you have the phones nowadays, the prosumer cameras, they're good enough quality for businesses to give them what they need. Now, the question really becomes, can you use the phone? I have a little light up here that gives me some extra light. If I turn that off, it probably wouldn't be as nice. I have a nice frame that I spent time creating. So what you do with the cameras is really where the professional expertise comes in. Video production is a professional service that uses cameras and equipment and AI tools and editing tools and other tools to create the final deliverable. So if you don't know how to use the tools are almost irrelevant.
Absolutely. I like the way you explain that, how it's really about obviously managing what the actual workspace is going to be whenever you're setting frame and everything, and whenever you're actually setting up the actual shot too, and not just kind of what you're shooting with necessarily.
Yeah, most of us have gym memberships, right? Do we go use the tools at the gym?
And I think too, a lot of the times businesses will have really good value propositions, especially if they're kind of going to market and they might not know exactly how to illustrate that properly or in a way to where their ideal customers will be able to actually see their solution and say, okay, this is something that looks really good or something that's actually worth exploring. In your way, with obviously the business that you founded and everything, how exactly do you go about showcasing their product or service in the best light possible?
Yeah. So that is, again, part of the professional service. The answer to that question has nothing to do with the cameras and equipment. Has everything to do with the professional services that come along with video production and everything before we do anything with the cameras and equipment. So my answer to that, if you were a client, a prospective client, I would say, well, what would you say to somebody standing in front of you? What questions would they have that you would be able to answer without a script? What would you show them? What charts or graphs do you either have now that you would show or that you would create to communicate and prove your point. And a lot of organizations have those assets already, again, in PDFs, in PowerPoints on their website. And they talk about these things every day without a script. They're just not doing it in the most effective medium that's out there, which is video. Because when you have video on a website or you send video via email before a big meeting, people are going to watch and learn. And that's really the goal of what, go-to-market teams need to do.
Absolutely. And I know you did mention too, before the podcast, you guys are based in New York, or what it sounds like, or at least you are. Kind of talk about the team a little bit. Do you guys have an in-person culture? Is it mainly online? Do you guys outsource a lot of your work and use systems? How does that process look, especially being the
it's
founder?
hybrid. So I had an office when I first started the company 15 years ago, and I think over 2 years I had 3 meetings there. I'm like, why am I paying for this? So we shifted to working from home before, the pandemic, and that seemed to work. But when I work, right, and I have my team is local here. When we work, we're at a client's location. So we're actually doing the work at a client's location.
It's true.
For the most part. We have motion graphic videos, animated videos that are done not locally, but sometimes we'll go shoot and then we'll integrate the live footage into a motion graphics or animation video. So there's a lot of pre-planning that we do. Pre-production in video is huge. I talked a little bit about everything that we do with that organization to think about their messaging before we show up. And we do a lot of that with our team and our crew before planning, making sure that we have the right equipment set. Everybody knows what they're going to be doing and what the goals are, et cetera, et cetera. And then we show up and we execute.
Absolutely. And would you ever have an in-person office again, just to go someplace during the day to maybe work outside your home? Or have you figured out that that's not really like a good work pattern for you? Just would rather kind of be in the same area at the same time?
Yeah, I'm totally open for that. It has to be at the right place at the right time, I guess. So yeah, I mean, not counting that out, we'll see.
Definitely. Yeah. And we have seen a lot of the, obviously, like work culture in person, shift, especially even before pandemic as well, to obviously more hybrid and online, things like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we've, just kind of the trend of kind of what we've seen too.
I guess now that I'm thinking about the culture of video people, it's very much a creative kind of hybrid approach. I do have people that work for me, but sometimes they'll go out and do like little projects on their own, right? It's just like the culture of being video people, so it's different than being in a software company or at a law firm or a real estate, company. The culture is a little bit different.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. When it comes down to kind of any sort of software, I know you just mentioned that too, that you guys are potentially building. Do you guys build a lot of software on the back end or on the front end, or are you guys mainly not focus on that at all? Or are you guys building any sort of solutions in that kind of space?
Well, the answer today is much different than if you would have asked me 6 months ago, right? So yeah, we are vibe coding and we're creating, software, if you will, agents, which is some, type of software for certain processes, both on, the front end go-to-market side and on the back end process side, client engagement side. That is, like most people, a work in progress. And I've got like 7 ideas that I'd love to do if I had the skill set and time to do it. But the software that we use the most is the traditional, video production software, the editing software, and now with the AI tools, we do not a lot, but we're doing more and more AI video production. So, we're using different tools there to create a video because you can't use just one tool only.
Absolutely. And kind of being in the space too and being a founder of this type of company as well, I'm curious about some of the actual software you have in your head that you're actually looking at building, given your experience in the space and kind of knowing exactly how a lot of different things work. What are just kind of some software for the audience you're kind of looking at potentially building, say if you had the skill set of really developing a lot of software?
Yeah. So the one that I'm working on now is scrubbing our thought leadership videos and being able to analyze them. And we call them Multivision minutes. So I don't know, for the last like 13 years or so, we do Multivision minutes, which are educational minute and a half, 2-3 minute videos pontificating about a topic of video production. How much does a video cost? What is batch production? How long should a video be? What's a video first marketing strategy? How to mimic the B2B process. using video, and being able to scrub all these videos and then, kind of like cut them up into like montages, right? Like automatically. That would be like super cool. The other one is a GTM strategy. It's kind of twofold, where it's a lead magnet, but also we can use it. So I could go to your YouTube channel, put in your URL, and it would scrub your YouTube channel and give me all like the key metrics of how many videos you've done over the last 3, 6, 12 months, what the views are, and then look for your competitors. So if I'm making a phone call or I'm sending a reach out or sending an email to you and you just did 7 videos over the last 2 months, you're probably not a great prospect to do more videos like now. But if your competitor didn't do them and I have that information that you just did those 7 videos, now I could be like, hey, competitor, or vice versa. If your competitor just did, 70 videos over the last year and you've done 3, and I can categorize them into like thought leadership, promotional, recruiting, then that just gives me empowerment to go back to you and say, like, you need to start doing something. And then from a lead magnet standpoint, there's a lot of these SEO companies that will have like, insert your URL and get an SEO report, kind of the same thing where you input the YouTube URL and out pops that.
I see. Okay, yeah, definitely super cool implementation there. And as you are still continuing to build up the company and hire more A players and scale, what are some of the goals just kind of as we finish off in the next couple of months for you guys? What are you guys really focusing on and putting a lot of your attention towards right now?
I will let you know post Tuesday. Tuesday, I have a huge meeting down in DC, and that might shift our focus a little bit to create more of like a TV show, educational program for the manufacturing industry. So we have a website called Video for Manufacturing that is B2B industrial specific. And there's a huge workforce development issue in the United States that could threaten like national security if those jobs are not filled. And we're talking about like close to 2 million jobs over the next 10 years. So there's a huge educational component right now going on in the US with a big federal and state level government effort to build, infrastructure for that future workforce. So we've got some thoughts and ideas on how we could create programming for that. And if that takes off, I will be spending a lot of my time doing that.
Nice. No, it's definitely a huge problem in the marketplace. And I think that's something that could really definitely take off, especially given everything that's going on right now and stuff. Once again, for the audience, where can we actually find you? What is the company website? And then what is your LinkedIn to for them?
YouTube is, I don't know, just go Multivision Digital. I'm not sure. That's like NY Agency or something like that. I don't remember what the YouTube URL is, but Multivision Digital, if you're like a B2B organization, software, a law firm, any type of professional services organization, go to Multivision Digital. If you're a manufacturing company, go to Video for Manufacturing. And if you're like a brand, an advertising agency or a big brand, go to Multivision Creative, which is more narrative, music videos, short films, stuff like that.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate your time here on RevTalks today,
Man,
Robert.
thank you.
Hope you have a great rest of your day as well.